Good morning, everybody. Feel a little better today. So this is going to be an instructional video because some of the members of the Hall of Distinguished Gentlemen are unaware of their heritage. The Hall was started by a man named Saul Scissortows. He had an egg salad sandwich stand at the foot of the pyramids over 5,000 years ago. Saul sold other things too. He had a beverage that was just made up of beer, like everything was back then. But he called it coconut beer. I don't even know if there was coconuts there. Maybe he just made up the name. He also had a new invention too. He called it the bagel, after his daughter, Bagel Booty Feet. Anyway, somebody was saying they were unaware of what the dipping was. Well, all through the history of the Hall of Distinguished Gentlemen that goes back, as I said, over 5,000 years to Saul Scissortows, there has been different people that have emerged as members of the Hall that have just been real hairy bastards, and that's gross. So over the years, the Hall has found it necessary to remove them of their hair, and it is called the dipping. In the past, it has just been done in barrels, but over the last several years, we have found it necessary to dip them in a huge vat of meat. Currently, the two areas bastards, EJ and CJ, the Bear Suit brothers. Now, EJ claimed he didn't know what the dipping was. I don't understand why, since he's been dipped several times before. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know. He's worshipped the sun god, and it ended up costing him his roof. So anyway, this is the dipping. They will be brought in by barge April 1st between 1 and 3 a.m. They will then be transported by truck to the platform, where they would then be attached to a crane. They will be lifted up in the air and then slowly lowered into a vat of meat. Now, the vat of meat is actually the Rainbow tank out in Dorchester. They haven't had gas in that thing for years. It's all phony. After they're taken out and they're all slick, the hair is then filtered out. And in the past, it was used to fill pillows and mattresses for orphans, because the hair is amazingly soft. Now we're putting it in a warehouse to save it for something, but I don't know. I have to speak to the board of directors. I am only Mr. Constable. I am only the curator. But they're saving it for something. I don't know what. Well, anyway, I hope, Eric, this is a good enough explanation for you about the dipping. It's coming up. We're going to come and get you. We have to put you in isolation for the dipping. In the future, I believe I will have to create some more videos to explain what the Hall is all about. But for now, I will tell you. The Hall collects socks and donates it. And this is for real, people. This isn't a joke. We donated to shelters such as Father Bill's, the Boston Rescue Mission, also Dove. We've donated up in New Hampshire. We've donated in California. This is for real. We have members in California, Arkansas, Indiana, Florida. Oh yeah, Scotland. Almost forgot. And in Scotland, yes. Scotland. Coming up probably is Ireland. I don't think we have any Canadians yet, though. They are an odd bunch, though. But seriously, last fall, in a 3-month period, Karen and I donated over 1,000 socks. It started off as a goof and an accident, but that's what we do. Also, to the women's places, ladies' lunch place. It's in the basement of a church in Newbury Street in Boston. It's been going on for over 40 years. They just provide a lunch. You know, when Karen and I went in to make our donation, well, the hall's donation, we walked in with the stuff in a container, and immediately this woman looked up at me and said, "Thank you." And then another one said, "Thank you." And by the time I got to the back of the place, I don't know how many of them said, "Thank you." It really hit me. It really hit me. By the time I got to the back of the place, I was trying to talk to the woman there. I just really couldn't, because I just walked through a sea of gratitude. You know, just such simple things. We get chapstick, which is important when you walk all day long outside. And we did some other products. What I'm working on right now is the website where I get a lot of the stuff on, the lightning sales. I'm watch out for bags, like duffel bags, handbag type things. So these people, that's awful to say, the homeless, people in need, don't have to walk around with this stuff in garbage bags. Just say it's something decent that they can carry around with. What struck me too was that Karen said when she walked in and looked around, it surprised her, and she said that they all look like her. No, because they're not any different. Yeah, they're not different. You know. So that's kind of what we do. It started off as a joke. Eric came up with the name. Joe said this could be something real, and it's become something real. I make the goofy things to show people. Just maybe to make somebody laugh. You know. This is the hat that the curator wears. But we wear a hat of black to remember with this close. See it? This close from being there where they are. And I want them to pull them out of there somehow, but in the meantime, they're walking down and it starts to rain and the feet get wet, that hopefully by the time the sun comes out again, they can take another pair of dry socks out of their pocket. Think about that. Think about that. You can walk around. No socks, wet socks, whatever. That's my goal. This is my goal. I want to be able to, so they can pull a pair of dry socks out of their pocket and have some self-respect, and they are no different than us, no matter what some people think. I know what they all say when they look at it. Oh, they're there. It's their own fault they're there. Really? Yeah. Not everybody is aware of the families that are being put up by the state, or the fact that a lot of these people work. They have to go back to a shelter or a tent in the woods. You know, shopping at Walmart is one thing. Sleeping in the woods next to it's another thing entirely. Remember that. That close. That close away. People, you don't think, yeah. There's the thing, people, a series of circumstances where it could lead you anywhere. In this world, the strangest thing is you can do everything right. You can bust your ass at work. You can take care of your family, and all it takes is one fucking thing. One thing that's just starts an avalanche. One thing, and you don't always see it coming. And this is what happened to these people. Whatever that one thing was, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They walk among a sea of people that have no worries, and nobody sees them. You know, past the construction workers, the steel workers, the plumbers, the guys that go home to a nice house, nice apartment, good wife, good husband. You know, they walk among the computer people. And all these people are doing well right now. You know, and these people just aren't aware of what happened to these people, and they don't, so we see them. I'll give the unions a lot of credit. They do a lot of stuff for charity. They do. Nobody has to do anything for charity. You don't have to do anything. You're supposed to, though. Yeah, you're supposed to. You know, you might not think you are supposed to. Yeah, but you are. So we the non-gluten muffins and your coffee that's not really made out of coffee. And even if you have it a bagel, just think about it. Just think about it. My father had this thing when I was little. Up on Chester Street in Broadway, Perkins Square. Outside what's now Magoo's Pizza Place. We called them the Bums. And on Saturday night, they would all be out there waiting. And what they were waiting for was for the paddy wagon, derogatory name, to come by and pick them up and bring them to the tank. And they would put them down in the basement, down at Station 6, and I probably gave them a little something to eat, maybe. These were the alcoholics. These were the guys that had nowhere to go. And they would just be out there sitting up against the wall, waiting. And every time my father went by, he gave each and every one of them some change. Every time. And I was, very aware of what their issues were. And I remember as a kid watching one guy. He was Native American. And it seemed like year after year he was there, and then one day he was gone. I don't know, whatever happened, I never saw him again. But I said to my father, why do you keep giving the money? They're just going to buy booze with it. And he looked at me and said, because if they stop too quick, they can die. And that really sunk in with me. If they stopped too quick, they could die. You know, don't overlook it. Don't overlook alcoholism. There's people who are out there killing themselves with fentanyl and heroin and everything. Don't look over the fact that if you stop too quick, you could die. You know, there's a little kid that just struck me. Then one day, they all weren't there anymore, and I don't know what happened. I don't ever hear anybody doing anything, but they weren't up against the wall anymore. I don't know. Somebody probably made a law or changed the rule or something. I don't know. I do remember when the homeless stuff really broke loose. You know, when our government in the 70s decided that a lot of people could live on their own, set them up in apartments. But if you're not watching, making sure somebody's taking your medication, you can't take care of themselves. I remember, though, the first halfway house that was set up in our neighborhood was for guys who were getting out of prison. And everybody was afraid they were going to break in every single house and everything. But I think these guys, if they did it, I think they did it in other neighborhoods. I mention that because overnight that turned into a halfway house for guys getting out of prison to apartments for people with mental health needs. And what happened within a few months, they were all gone. Some of them maybe couldn't find their way back. I don't know. I remember they used to wander the streets, but nobody was with them and everything. I think they made a big mistake. Some people just can't be alone. And then from there, it just doubled and tripled, and, it's very unfortunate. We are supposed to take care of our people. Everybody's connected. I have about 500 cousins. Well, I think I'm going to go now because the light just dimmed on Marblehead. I think the phone's going to run out. I get to plug it in. Remember, take care of somebody. Socks. That far away. Be safe and carry on.